Howdy, folks, and welcome to another episode of Inside RIC Athletics. I'm Cody Chalifoux. Today, I'm joined by a thrower on the women's track and field team, Melissa Mejia. Melissa, thank you so much for taking some time and sitting with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, you just completed your LEC championships this past weekend. Can you kind of tell us about how that went for you and your team?
Yeah, well, we're a pretty small team this year on the women's side, so we did the best that we could, and we ended up picking up a couple of good points. I didn't do the best, at least not what I would have wanted to do, but we did manage to pick up a couple of points on the throw side, and yeah, we did what we could.
Right, and being a thrower is a fun little niche, and it's pretty cool. I mean, between the men's and the women's team over the past few years, it's been a really fun team, one of the best kind of portions of your team, and New England. I mean, the RIC throwers have been kind of the top of the line, and you're a graduate. You've been here for a while. So how have you seen that program evolve? You've shared, you've had plenty of really good teammates, and you yourself have been up there as well. So how have you seen the program evolve from the time you got here till right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, I've been here quite a long time, so I've definitely gotten to see a lot of good athletes and coaches come and go, and it's just an amazing experience to see how the program has evolved, especially from the thrower side. So I'm excited for the new talent that came in and that are coming in, and I'm the last of a group coming from the former Coach Palazzo, so it's exciting to see, but also kind of like bittersweet at the same time.
Yeah. You're looking at the end right there, and again, you were part of a group. Chelsea Yang highlighted that group. She was a national threat at every time, but now you're kind of that veteran, and you look at the Samantha Sainer-Stills and the Haley Chartiers and the Milana Melvins of the world, and so how have you seen their development? I know Samantha and Haley are sophomores now. Milana's a freshman, and all the other throwers. So how have you seen them kind of rise, being a veteran?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing to see how they can compete and rise to the occasion. You typically are maybe more cautious with them or hesitant to see what they can do when they get to the big meets, but they're all very well at performing under pressure. Even the boys, they're just able to just perform when it counts.
All right, and you're a graduate student. You're studying psychology, and what are you looking to do with that psychology degree? I know you've taken the doing the master's stuff like that. So what's that trajectory taking you?
Yeah, so my bachelor's was in psychology and chemical dependency and addiction studies, and my master's is in clinical mental health. So the goal is to be a counselor therapist.
Oh, that's awesome. That's fine. I know we've had a couple psychology majors, and sports psychology or that route's usually the one that it takes. You guys New England's and all that fun stuff coming up, but then you jump right into the outdoor season after a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
How different is it between the indoor and the outdoor season, if at all? I mean, I'm not super enthralled with the track field, but is there a big difference? I know there's a couple different events, but what's the main difference there?
Oh, it's like a completely different sport.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you tell us about it then.
Yeah. Well, indoor we do weight and shot. Those are the only two throwing events, and then for outdoor you have hammer, disc, shot, and the jab.
Sure.
So not only do you have more, but you also have the difference of the weight and the hammer. They're two completely different beings, animals. If you can throw one really well, you hope that you can do it with the other, but oftentimes you just have to adjust to the different weights and the lengths, and just adjusting. It takes some time.
Right. It's not a one-for-one transfer of skills. You can be really good in the hammer, but not really good in the weight, and vice versa. So how is you as an athlete, and you've done a couple of these cycles now, how do you, at the end of winter, start preparing for the spring? Is it kind of mid-season you're preparing? Is it you're preparing you're basically doing both all the time? How do you ramp up for the spring season, the outdoor season, when it is that different?
Yeah, you want to mainly do most of your training for both in the weight room. You want to prepare your body for just adjusting to the different types of weights, and also dynamic lifting, and when you're dropping the weight to when you're being explosive, because you can't usually train the weight and the hammer at the same time.
Right, it's just so different.
Right, and it messes with your timing, your technique. So you usually want to wait towards the end of the season to even think about picking up the next implement. So
Right.
you really have to take it week by week, meet by meet, see where you're at, see what you qualify for, and just hope that those 2 to 3 weeks in between you just really take advantage of.
Right, yeah. It seems like sometimes you're thrown right into the fire. I know you have a small little break, but with such a difference, that first meet is kind of a seeing where you really are in the grand scheme of things. So, Melissa, thanks so much for sitting with us. But before we get you out of here, and a little editor's note for everyone at home, we did hers and Michelson's right side by side. So she got to see the Vibe Check game. So we're going to play that with you now. Are you a big music person?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you a live music person? Do you go to concerts often?
I've only been to one concert.
Oh, you have to tell us about it then.
It was a Bad Bunny concert.
Okay.
And I was very close, and it was the experience of a lifetime to just see him perform, and I'm a big fan of his music, so I think it was a great first concert to go to, and I can't wait for the next one.
That's awesome. Any plan? Do you have someone in mind to go for the next one? If you could pick one artist, who would you see if it wasn't bad? If you had to choose someone other than Bad Bunny?
Probably Drake.
Drake?
He's at the top of my list.
Yeah, I remember we came to Boston a couple years ago, and a lot of my friends went. They said it was a pretty fun time.
Yeah.
Shout out Drake, by the way. Shout out Drake. More slaps than the Beatles. That's what he says, at least. All right, so here's the game for those of you watching at home for the first time. You and I were taking a cross-country road trip. Mm-hmm. I have 7,700 phones on my phone. Songs on my phone. I think I said phones on my song. Wow, look at me go. I am killing it today. My favorite genre shuffle. I listen to all types of stuff. So I'm going to shuffle the first 5 songs that come up. Here you watch me hit shuffle. Boom, boom. Yep. Over those 5, that's what you have to go off of.
Okay.
If you tell me if you like music, boom, I pass. If I don't, you got to tell me I fail. All right? So, all right, here's the first song. It's called Provide. This is by G-Eazy with Chris Brown and Mark Morrison. So that is the beginning of that song. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is Dopeness by the Black Eyed Peas. A little different. This is the newer Black Eyed Peas, not the stuff we grew up with. It's an interesting shift they took. Mm-hmm. Alive by Khalid. Mm-hmm. All right, so that is the 3rd song, am I right? 1, 2, yep, the 3rd song for you. Here's the 4th song, Medicine by Jennifer Lopez and French Montana. There you go, a little J-Lo for you. And the 5th and final song is called The Fire. This is by The Roots featuring John Legend. Okay. All right. So, Melissa, those are your 5 songs. All you know about my music taste. Uh-huh. Tell me, do I pass the vibe check, yes or no?
Yes. I just don't know if you'll have it the entire road.
All right. Okay. See, that's fair. See, sometimes you get some good. It's all the power of the shuffle. It's all the power of the shuffle. Well, Melissa, thank you so much for sitting down with me, taking the time out, and good luck the rest of the way. All right.
Thank you.
All right, that's it. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Inside RIC Athletics. Make sure to go over to goanchorman.com for everything Rhode Island College athletics. There, you can find a varsity schedule so you can pick out what games you want to watch at home with a link to the broadcast there, what games you want to come out and see in person, and we'll see you there. Also, there is a broadcast link that goes right to our YouTube channel, which has all of these Inside RIC Athletics archives. So if you want to watch the first one, you want to watch the next one, you can go to YouTube, like, subscribe, get notified when those goes up. If you want to watch these live, make sure to check into the broadcast where a lot of these episodes are aired for the first time during halftime of whatever event we are doing. Also, don't forget, Rhode Island College has a radio show that airs every Friday from 4:30 to 5 o'clock on 790 The Score, anchored in athletics. Make sure to check that out. George Bishel, our host, has been doing a fantastic job. More interviews with players, more interviews with coaching, and also more interviews with staff around Rhode Island College. And there on goanchorman.com is also an archived list to watch all those that you've maybe missed or any of the future. So thank you so much. I've been Cody Chalifoux. Have a wonderful rest of your day.